Hey guys, I'm Mr. Genie here, aka Mustached. I'm here to do something a little bit unexpected. That is to amend one of my more recent reviews, in fact, probably the most recent, and that being Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. For those of you who don't know, I will link it in the description. I initially reviewed this movie with a middling score due to some criticisms that I held at the time, but after hearing some more pushback in regards to it being a solid movie rather than what I thought it was, uh, I have come to apologize for my lack or ability to not see the praises over the critiques. As I believe that if my job is to critique movies and hope that these individuals, writers, and you know, uh, art directors, and all the people behind this are getting better and better with my reviews. If that is my ultimate goal, then I should hold myself to that standard as well. If I notice that some of my critiques in them of themselves aren't as well put together or just flat out wrong, that I should apologize and reassess the movie from that point of view. Now, the stream that put this into these thoughts into me rethinking the way I was looking at this movie was SK's breakdown, the initial one, of this movie. One of my earlier criticisms came at the expense of at the beginning of the movie, and that being sort of Miles's close to entrance, or in fact beginning to deal with the antagonist or the main villain known as Spot. I criticized his lack of wherewithal to start doing other stuff while the villain was sort of fumbling around. And it didn't come to mind that it is really this character weakness, rather, that amplifies this scene, rather, among the other elements, like him being late with his parents already being at this meeting, that all of these elements that are being amplified on top of this scene that really drive home pretty much the main theme of this movie, that because he couldn't take this guy seriously, and that was his whole shtick, and then he wanted to be taken more seriously as a consequence of those because he was sort of seen as this villain of the week sort of type of character. So I wanted to amend that mistake first and foremost. And the second and bigger criticism that I initially held and have now reevaluated, is the sort of aspect of the latter half of the film, the second half of the film, and dealing with Miguel O'Hare's sort of viewpoint from this perspective. And I had initially blamed the writing in general here in my original review, not necessarily placing it on the character, which I should have been, sort of gauging and connecting those dots rather than separating them. Because I do think that, once again, it creates a character flaw, but is showing really great writing as a foil to that, as well as showing and enhancing Miguel's character, rather than because we are able to see the information that I do believe provides like an a good, like, oh, so we understand why he as an antagonist is doing what he's doing. And again, I had a big shtick up about the wordage that he was particularly using, in this case, canon and destiny being two of the keywords there. Um, I did have an issue with canon being used in a more futuristic sense, or in a sense of a thing that hasn't happened yet. Um, and that, again, I think does come more of a flaw to Miguel rather than the writing just being poor. And again, that does more so favor Miles's point of view, while certain elements of this movie also flip that and suggest that maybe, helps his side of the argument to a degree, if you are looking at it from that point of view. So, I think that covers the two major criticisms that I had gotten from that review. I remember pretty much really enjoying most of the other, like, pretty much the first half, even on first viewing of the movie, particularly all the family stuff, so I still think that that's really well done. And it was really the second half that I was struggling with, and it did take me watching someone else's perspective and really putting it into a different way of looking at it to improve my ability to put together what these scenes were trying to convey about Miguel and Miles here. So I'm going to re-score this movie as such. I believe that after that deep consideration and how much I did enjoy the first half of the movie, with that piece of the puzzle sort of equated, my gripes about the second half of the movie are pretty much gone, leaving me with a score that is doubled the amount that it was from a 5 all the way to a 10 out of 10. I think that this is currently the best Spider-Man movie after giving it its much deeper consideration. So if if my initial video is something you had watched and you were like, maybe I shouldn't watch it, I would highly recommend watching this movie, especially if you already have seen the first. And I definitely look forward to seeing the third. I already have sort of the challenge, I suppose, from this movie, and one thing I will note is that there is a preferred ending I personally have. So we shall see if it sticks on that side or if it's gonna flip it. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'll wait to see what which way they're gonna go with the route they're gonna pick. And I actually do think I alluded to it in my initial review, so I actually will just say I think that having Miles be the victorious one in the circumstance, I think that will ultimately conclude the better ending, in my opinion, over Miguel has to be right sort of flow. And again, I'm not sure which one they're going to go with right now, obviously, but that is my current 2 cents of like, oh, we'll see, we'll see where it goes, and we'll see how well, either way, if it's going to go either way, if they can still provide an excellent reasoning or whatever, we'll see. But for now, again, I wanted to apologize and make this video as sort of a refix of my previous review, and if this ever does come up again, I would like to make this a new habit on my channel, whenever I make mistakes, to make a separate video to fix the errors or catch the criticisms or adjust them accordingly to what I think they should be and ought to be to be closer to being as objective as possible, while hinting at those little subjective things that are like interconnected with objectivity. So yes, that is my fixes, and I will just leave it at that. I don't think a fix video should be worthy of shilling myself, so I'll just leave it at that. If you ended up enjoying this little fix on my review, then please do the stuff. I'll leave it at that. And until next time, everyone, bye bye.